Looks like we are live, so we'll jump back into this camera. Good morning and welcome to Board Gaming Breakfast. This is a live series that I like to do Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to around 8:30, where we start and bring a game to the table and that we like to talk about for some particular reason, some mechanic that it's been on our mind for, and then we'll go into a couple brainstorming exercises. But today is a special stream because we have a guest with us for the first time. So we have Devin from Picking Up Pieces on YouTube. Him and his wife, Mary Kate, like to produce YouTube content around board games and the games they've been playing. And I'm terrible with intros. So Devin, is there anything you'd like to let the audience know what your whole shtick is?
Yeah, well, I'm Devin. I'm one half of Picking Up Pieces, a channel all about board game pieces and how to pick them up. So that's pretty much what we say in every video, and it has nothing to do with board game pieces at all. We just talk about everything board game under the sun. So I mean, we've done our collection, went over that. We've gone over different Kickstarters, and then just the most recent video, we talked about Klaus Tubin, the fact that he passed away. So it's just a little bit of everything in the board game hobby space that we think is prudent or is interesting for us, and we just produce videos because we think it's fun to do, even though it can definitely be stressful sometimes because now you just made yourself having a part-time job without getting paid. So if you guys like doing that, definitely start up a YouTube channel. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Perfect. And the dynamic that you and Mary Kate have in the videos is awesome, and I think that's what separates you from all the other board game content out there. And I definitely suggest giving you guys a follow because it's fun to see your channel grow.
I
And
appreciate it,
so
man. Appreciate it a ton.
today we had Devin get to choose what game he wanted to bring to the breakfast table and talk about. So I'm gonna hand it over to Devin. What game did you pick today, and what are some of the reasons why you chose this particular game out of the fact that it was one that I could contribute to as well, and why it's been on
Hmm.
your mind recently?
All right, so I picked up Cat in the Box. So I went to go visit May Kate's family or my in-laws, and whenever we were there, me and her dad, we're pretty close, and so we went to a board game shop. And I've been looking for Cat in the Box and found it there. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna buy it. Bought it, and then we've been playing it a ton. Like whether it just be me, May Kate, or introducing it to new people. And so that's why it's been on my mind a ton lately. It's so easy to get to the table and also really easy to introduce to people who are non-board gamers if they're especially used to trick-taking games, because a lot of non-board gamers play either like hearts or spades or something along those lines, which makes it easy to play. And then also you talking about introducing a game or us making a game with a new mechanism in it, that's what makes Cat in the Box different than other games, is because pretty much they just took trick taking and then like, okay, there's nothing else we can do new to trick taking. Well, Cat in the Box does that with like two different ways. It introduces area control, and then also I don't know what you call a mechanism where none of the cards have any suits.
Yeah, so I guess to do a couple visuals, if you want to dive deeper into that, Devin, you want to talk about how all the cards in the actual game don't start with the traditional suit that you would find in a standard bicycle deck of cards.
Yeah. So, talk about thematic. So, best explained in the game whenever you actually introduce a theme, so you can conceptualize what the game is actually about. So, if you guys ever heard of the quantum physics scenario of Cat in the Box, which is by Schrodinger's cat,
Yeah, Schrodinger's cat,
um,
I believe, is what it's commonly known as, or that's what I know it as
yeah, yeah, yeah,
non.
yeah. So pretty much, the experiment is if you put a cat in the box and poison it in the box at the same time, and the poison has a 50-50% chance of releasing in half an hour and 100% chance in an hour. So you close the box, leave the cat in there, and then in a half an hour, is the cat dead or alive? Well, you don't really know if the cat's dead or alive until you actually open up the box and able to see it. So at that 30-minute mark with you not seeing the cat, it's 50% dead, 50% alive until you're able to confirm it. So Cat in the Box is a little bit similar whenever all the suits have nothing in your hand, and they don't become a suit until you actually play the card, where you claim if it's a yellow, red, green, or blue. I think that's all the colors. And so whenever you play down that card, you say it's that color, and then there's a main player player board or central board where you put down that color, saying that there's a 3 blue in the game, and then nobody for the rest of the game can say it's a 3 blue because you just made into existence, confirming it that there's been a 3 blue already in the deck and you already had it. So that's a little bit hard to understand. But once you start playing it, it becomes relatively like simple and easy to play with. Again, I played this game with non-board game people, and after the first like round, they're like, "Okay, we got this."
Yeah, no,
So,
that was so I also grew up in a trick-taking family. Hearts is the game
hmm
that's been very played out in my
yeah,
family's lifestyle, and so when I came across hearing about the Cat in the Box coming out with a trick-taking game where there's 0 suit assigned, I was intrigued with that mechanic as well. From the that
hmm
everyone has this little like suit tracker, and you'll plug
yeah,
the suit when you're saying you're out of them and shorting yourself in the suit, which instantly made me think of shooting the moon in Hearts, and that whenever I'm
okay,
playing Hearts, that's sort of I'll look at my hand and say, is there a way that I can shoot the moon this round? Yes, no.
hmm
Even if I can't, I'll generally try to attempt it until it's going to be too futile and I'll take too many points. And so
hmm
that was what initially drew me into the game, is like that idea that you can short yourself in a suit at any time to play offsuit is what
hmm
hooked me. And then if you don't mind jumping into, like, you had talked about the area control element of the board, we had touched
hmm
on it briefly of how when you play a like 3 and you're saying that it's blue, it's now part of like that's been claimed, and so no one else can play a 3 of the suit blue anymore.
hmm
If you want to talk about that a little, and the end trigger of how if you create a paradox, um, talking about how that triggers the end of the round, because I think those are 2 really innovative mechanics that Bezier added, or no, I guess Bezier published it, but the original designer,
hmm Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
name is in Japanese, so I'm gonna very much
What's the name
sound
of
like an
it?
uh, Muneyaki Yokushi. I just Americanized, butchered that name really quick, but
My guy, fluent in Japanese. I respect it, Sam. I respect it.
so
All right,
I
so
apologize for the mispronunciation of the name.
all good, and people love being disrespected. All right, so we got a board right here that actually at the beginning of the game or the round, you get to claim how many tricks you want to win. So why that is important is because if you want to say, "Oh, I win 1 trick," well, if you go over that trick amount, you still get points for every trick you win. You still get 1 point. But if you land exactly on the predicted amount that you thought you were going to win, then you get a benefit of the area control of the game. So not only playing trick taking game, but with that player board, the largest grouping of your pieces on this board. So say if I play down a 3 blue and then also a 4 blue and a 3 red. Well, at the end of the round, if I said exactly the number of tricks I was going to win, if I was going to win 2 tricks and I won 2 tricks, that means I get this big grouping of 3 as all of them being 1 point. So meaning I get 1 point for 3, 1 point for 4, 1 point for the 3 red.
Trying my best to be
Eh,
your Vanna White right there.
There you go. Yeah, or that bottom green one. I would get 1 point for each individual piece that's grouped together on top of the tricks that I won. So that's why you want to say exactly how many tricks you're going to get in the game. Because it doesn't really matter if you go over or under. You still get a point for every trick you won, but you'll get that benefit, which can definitely cause huge, you know, bonus points. So you're playing that area control. But the thing about this game is everyone ultimately you think, oh, can just play whatever they want to play because you can just say whatever color you want and you just keep on going. Well, as you can think, as this board gets filled up, there's going to be less chances for you to play down what you want to play down because you're not going to be able to play down a 1 on a yellow if there's no 1 yellow or if there's any ones at all because there's 4 spots for every number, but there's 5 cards in the game. So there might come to a point where at the end of the game, there's only a couple spots open, and you can't put down a new card because you making a paradox happen. because you have to be able to play down something. So if you make the paradox happen, what happens is for all the tricks you won that game, you get -1 points for that happening because you made something impossible happen. Because ultimately, what we're doing, we're not playing a game, we're doing a science experiment. So
Exactly.
that's that. Hmm.
So that, for everyone, is Cat in the Box, and so I'd love to hear in the comments below what others find, if they have favorite moments when they've played the game of creating paradoxes when they were unexpected, or any stories that you have from playing this game. Feel free to leave them in the comments below. And with that, thank you for coming to listen to us talk about Cat in the Box today. All right, so now we're gonna try to see if I can have two screens up at the same time. Working all off of a laptop here.
Hmm. You good?
So we will now, so I got the wheel of mechanics up. We'll close out on a few ads. And we're going to do a silly intro again.
Okay.
And so, do you want to have kind of your, like, talk about picking up the pieces, like the full in depth for all three? Just because then you'll have that promo at the beginning of each video when it goes live.
Sure,
It'll
I can do
sound
that.
redundant right now for the live stream, but it's
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
we maybe have two people in the stream if Mary Kate's also listening, because my wife Michaela is usually in the chats commentating.
May Kate's actually like a middle school teacher, so she's
Oh, she's
teaching kids right now. Yeah,
so she's
yeah,
broadcasting the whole classroom, I bet.
yeah, yeah. So you actually have 20 little kids
Perfect.
watching. Yeah.
It's a shame that middle school is against terms of service, so they can't have their own YouTube account to subscribe. But tell your parents. All
Yeah,
right, so
yeah.
we'll just run with the comic relief of doing the intro each time, just because that'll make the editing, the videos, that'll go a lot further with reach, um, ideally, uh, for everyone to see, and then those that want to laugh at us can just rewatch the live cast.
Sounds good.
All right. Welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about the Cat in the Box, the board game, which is a trick-taking game, and we're going to add a random mechanic into it and see what we can brainstorm and come up with. As you might notice if you follow the channel, the screen setup's a little different today. We have Devin right above me, and so Devin is from the YouTube channel Picking Up Pieces, and he's a fellow content creator that likes to put content out into the YouTube space and talk about the hobby we love. So, Devin, you want to give a quick spiel of what your channel is all about?
Hey, I'm Devin, and I'm one half of Picking Up Pieces, a channel all about board game pieces and how to pick them up. Actually, it's nothing about board game pieces at all. That's actually one area of the content space or board game space that we don't talk about. So fooled you. No, so we talk about everything board game under the sun. We talk about our collection. We talk about I think we want to talk about events at some point. And I mean, we just talked about the fact that Cross Tube sadly passed away early this month, and we did like a kind of tribute video for him. And so that's pretty much what we do. We talk about all that stuff and we try to do it in a fun manner in order to make it more entertaining for you guys. So there you go.
Awesome. I swear, the more you start with your intro, I'm about to fill Mary Kate's role. I guess she's the one that usually sets you up for the how to pick them up, correct?
Well, okay, so
Or,
I say the first part. We always alternate. So I was like, hey, I'm Devin. Hey, I'm Mary Kate. And then I'm like, and we're picking up pieces. And then she says, yeah, so it's always alternates.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I keep biting my tongue with and how to pick them up, and so
yeah. Yeah,
maybe on the
hey,
last intro I'll jump in on that.
definitely. You can be like, hey, I'm Devin. You say, hey, I'm Sam. And we'll alternate the lines.
Perfect. And if it doesn't work, we'll scrap that and restart the last intro.
We start, we'll do it until it's great. We'll be here all day, Sam, if it needs
I
to.
don't know if I could. I have a 10 o'clock meeting, but we can go as long as it takes. We'll,
That's
we'll
right. You're
pause.
quitting your job. That's what that means.
Oh, God. All right, so back to what we're doing for this video is, in a previous video, Devin and I talked about Cat in the Box, the trick-taking game by Bezier, and now we are going to consult the Wheel of Mechanics, which is a wheel of 63 different game
Okay.
mechanics, and it is going to decide our fate for what we have to add in as a game mechanic to Cat in the Box. And once we spin the wheel, I'll set a 5-minute timer just so we don't have to quit my job today, and that will be capped for timing to see where we get to in that 5 minutes of brainstorm. And then Devin and I will recap kind of where we got to with our thought process and talk about what our next steps would be to test this game concept to see if it is a success or a flop. So without further ado, we will spin the wheel. And I really don't hope acting doesn't come up.
Oh, please, God. Economics.
Oh, memory. All right, that's not a bad one to do with Cat in the Box. So I'm gonna
No,
quickly
that is not.
start the timer. And Devin, since you're the guest, I'm gonna let you take it away with your first thoughts on how we can add memory into Cat in the Box. So we are off.
Okay. Okay. So with the player board, the individual player boards, you can claim the trick, and then also once you play down a card, you say what color that card is. And so I think what we do is that we remove the colors on this little player board, and we'll kind of make the game a little worse by making it harder.
Okay.
So, so we move the colors off of player boards, and if a person plays down a color and claims it, they have to remember it. And if there's ever a contradiction, they get negative points.
Okay.
That's the easy first way of thinking
So I
about it.
like that starting point of
Mm-hmm.
are we saying that you have to remember when they've shorted themselves from a suit, or I think that may be a more playable direction, because if we're just saying that you're not playing onto here, then that area
Mm-hmm.
control would be a little more taxing for the players. Although
Yeah.
it would be, I think it would turn it into one of those yell at your friend style games of,
Yeah.
no, I played the blue 3, which might create fun moments, but probably angry
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah. Because I played this game with my family who are not board game people, and this is the one thing they did not get. It's just putting your card next to the color. They just
Okay.
put it out there and said that's what they were going to do. And I remember throughout that game having like, okay, we don't know what you're doing, my friend, and then having to be like, you need to put it next to this so we can see what you're doing. So if we take that away, they're pretty much doing what they, at least my family was doing, what pretty much memory already in that play session, and then we can just add ways in order to make it
A little more playable.
I guess
So we're
yeah
saying that we're removing we're turning this card into just the numbers for what you're bidding, or is that a
yeah
memory aspect as well?
mm.
We could go full boat in that there's not actual cards that you have to like play out, and everything's hypothetical.
Do yeah, the trick can ultimately be what's it called, everyone says how many tricks they're going to win without having this at the beginning of the game, and if someone at the end of the game they'd be like, oh, I won this many tricks and this is how many I said, and they changed it, they can get away with it unless someone calls them out on it. So maybe we have like another piece of paper that has everyone written down the tricks that they were going to win to
Okay.
actually confirm that. And then if someone doesn't call you out on it, you can get the benefit of, that area control at the end of the round. But if not, then you get that. It's kind of like causing a paradox where then, oh, you didn't do what actually was said and you lied about it, trying to change the past. So you get negative points.
All right, so I think that is a perfect place to stop. I'm also gonna switch into OBS really quick to make sure that I'm catching your audio, because I had that panic realization. So you
Good
want to try?
God, son.
Okay, so desktop monitor is recording. So if you talk again,
Okay.
perfect.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, that would have been very silly to only have one person talking in the video.
Yeah.
And this is Devin, and then like 2 minutes of silence. All right, so to recap, now that we worked past that that almost oh crap moment, our task was to add a memory aspect into Cat in the Box, and we came up with the idea of modifying this card to no longer showing what suit of the color each person's playing with, and you would be bidding but not have that in front of you to remember, so you'd have to remember what you bid and what everyone else played would be the way we do that. So how we go about testing that is we'd probably need to bring a pen and paper to or I guess, because you keep score for rounds, so you'd have that anyway. I've only
Yeah.
played it once, so I'm going to consult the expert when my memory fades.
Well, they do have already like a scoring book. Let me see, like this
Right,
right
right,
here.
right. This guy.
Yeah, this guy. So I don't know if there's actually any place for you to do memory. Maybe you like add it on like in production, but to test it, maybe just add a piece of paper
Yeah,
along with
so we'd
it.
have a blank piece of paper just to capture what everyone's bidding. And to
Mhm.
not make the game fully come off the wheels, we would probably have to have one, we could call them the scientist, the one that's running this experiment, keep track of who's placed what for the scoring aspect, but they have that
Mhm.
aspect hidden. And so it would rotate. The starting player potentially would have to do that. Oh, we got the 10-minute timer, so we might have to restart
Uh-huh.
the call for the last video.
Okay. Maybe the piece that like in production, like whenever you whoever claimed this piece over here, I don't know if it'd be too fiddly at that point, but maybe there's a bottom side that says this is this player, and the top side's the same for everybody. So it's just like hidden, so you can flip it to confirm it at the end of the round to know
Gotcha.
whose piece is on the.
So I guess that would be so part of the memory aspect that I thought you were describing was not knowing if you're going to trigger a paradox or not. Because in the
Mhm.
game currently, if all the twos have been taken, knowing that two in your hand is going to
Yeah.
trigger the end of the game and give you
Mhm.
negative points, if that was hidden to everyone, that memory aspect of knowing which numbers are about to cause paradox
Okay.
might
Yeah.
make the game a
Mhm.
little too hard, but would be an
Mhm.
interesting element to test
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
memory aspect. But if we're
Mhm.
doing the probably more successful method of adding memory of not knowing who's claimed what piece, uh, we could play with tokens, and the front side could be your color coded, and the back side could
Mhm.
just be a blank showing that it was taken. That would be a quick way to um, do that. And I'd probably say that those tokens could be for testing. I would just cut a bunch of triangles uh,
Mhm.
just so that you can get your finger in and pop it out after, so it's not too fiddly. So
And the beautiful thing about testing is that you can try both and see which one works out better,
exactly.
right?
And
Yeah.
so I would probably default to testing yours first because I think that would be a little. I think you'd get a few more rounds out of it before people get frustrated. Of I can't because it goes all the way up to if you're playing a full was it go up to
9.
five? It goes up to 9 in a 5-player game, and so if you have to
Mhm.
remember all 9 suits, which ones are close to causing paradox, I don't
Yeah.
know about your game group, but I know my parents would give up after the first round if I was testing with them. So we'll
Yeah.
start with the little visual cue for testing that of knowing not having to keep 9 numbers in your memory bank for
Mhm.
which ones are causing paradoxes. But I think that
Yeah.
is how we would test adding a memory aspect to Cat in the Box. Feel free to, in the comments below, give your input on what you would add as a memory element. If you liked what Devin and I came up with, awesome. We love the positive support in the comments as well. But comment what you think. Thanks for stopping by for video number 2.
Thanks, guys.
And so this will probably be easy for a visual because I'm going to hang up, set another
Okay.
Zoom, and then call you back because we have 7 minutes, and the last segment will probably take 10.
Okay.
All right, let's speed run this one. I'll see you in hopefully 2 minutes or less.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, so meeting. Oh God, we're doing this all live. Um, we'll just put it to black so I don't give away anything. This is great content. Make this for 8:30. Boom. And once Devin unmutes, we can hit time and we can be successfully into it.
You're really, you sound like...
What's up?
I said you're sounding like a robot.
Alright. Let's end the call. Alright. I can also, when you talk, I can see your mouth move, and then I can hear you like 2 seconds after. So you're pretty delayed as well. Am I still robot-y?
Oh, no.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's try and jump out of the Zoom and jump back in. Sorry, we're going black screen. Alright. How about now?
Yeah, it still sounds like a robot.
Maybe that's just my voice.
Okay, impressive.
Alright, so we'll probably pivot then and end the stream from here. Just because I don't think the audio will come out great for the last segment. If that works for you.
Try to do Discord again? Oh, we can end it. That's fine with me. I just didn't want to end it early on you.
Here, I'll stop streaming and then see if we can fix it, and then I'll go live again if